Welcome back to Threads of Wisdom, where every story weaves a lesson for life. Let's dive into today's journey of insight and inspiration. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the wisdom. Now let's get started. High upon the cliffs overlooking a vast, tumultuous sea stood an old lighthouse, its beacon guiding ships safely through the night. Inside this lighthouse lived an old keeper named Elias. For years, Elias had maintained the light, ensuring it shone brightly no matter how fierce the storms raged around him. Elias wasn't known by many. He lived alone, far from the bustling towns, his days filled with routine, cleaning the glass, trimming the wick, fueling the lamp. His work was silent, unseen, but essential. Each night, the light cut through the darkness, a lifeline for sailors navigating treacherous waters. There were times, however, when Elias wondered if his efforts were truly needed. The ships never sent messages of thanks. No one visited him to acknowledge the countless lives his light had saved. The world moved on without him, and there were days when the isolation felt heavy. Why do I keep doing this? Elias would ask himself. Does anyone even notice? Does anyone care? One particularly harsh winter, the storms grew stronger. The winds howled through the night, and the waves crashed violently against the cliffs. Yet despite the chaos, Elias kept the lighthouse burning, never faltering in his duty. One night, as the storm reached its peak, Elias saw a ship in the distance, tossed around like a toy in the angry sea. The ship struggled to stay afloat, battling the winds and waves. But then, just as the ship veered dangerously close to the rocks, it caught sight of the lighthouse's beam, steering back to safety. Elias watched in silence as the ship disappeared into the horizon, saved by the very light he had maintained for years. In that moment, he realized something profound. The light isn't for me to see, Elias whispered. It's for them. Elias understood that his work, though often unnoticed and unappreciated, had a purpose far greater than recognition. His light was a constant in the storm, a guide for those who couldn't find their way. He didn't need the world's approval to keep going. His purpose wasn't to be seen. It was to serve. From that night on, Elias tended to the lighthouse with renewed resolve. He knew now that even if no one ever said, "Thank you," even if no one ever knew his name, the light was necessary. And as long as the ships needed it, he would keep it shining. Sometimes in life we feel unseen, our efforts unrecognized, our purpose unclear. But like the lighthouse keeper, we must remember, our work, our actions, our light might be saving someone we'll never meet. Purpose isn't about being noticed. It's about staying true to what you're meant to do. If this story resonates with you, remember to keep your light shining. The world needs it, even if you don't always hear the thanks. Subscribe to Threads of Wisdom for more stories of purpose and perseverance, and keep shining in your journey.